Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Today we're going to be talking about how you can write a list of 100 things that you want to do before you die. Some people call this a bucket list, but when I wrote mine, it was before the term was popular, before the movie came out called Bucket List. I just decided in college one night to write 100 things. And I still look at this list. I still try to accomplish these things. And I thought it'd be fun if maybe you joined me. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about some different categories of things, and we're going to pause and give you moments to try to draft your own. So before we dive in, you need to gather some supplies. You either need something to write on so you can start taking notes, ideas you have, or you can open up, a Word doc or something on your computer to start taking notes there. However you take notes is up to you. The intention here is to get up to 100 things. Now that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. But why we're doing that is because it stretches you to think about things that you wouldn't normally think. The first 20, 30 things are going to be really easy. They're things that you've already thought about, you've talked about, you already know you want to do. Once you get beyond that, now it's a stretch. But that's what's going to make this fun. So we're going to tackle this by first breaking things into 3 categories for you to think about. The first one is going to be immediate things that without any planning, you could leave and you could go do now. So you're going to think about things that what could I do at any point if I wanted to. We're then going to talk about short-term things, which are maybe require a little planning, but it's not going to take you that long to do. It's something you can easily learn. It's a place you can easily go. Those are going to be short-term things. And then we will dive into long-term bucket list items. And these are things that if you're younger, things you want to be doing when you're old. As an adult, I want to be doing this. And by the time I'm 50, 60, 70, I want to be here. I want to be doing these things. I want my life to look like this. Long-term goals. So for reference, I'm going to give you things from my bucket list so you can start to see what sorts of things you could do. But again, you're creating your own list. So you can use mine as inspiration. You can straight up steal them if you want, but the goal is to not copy them completely. The goal is to trigger some thoughts and feelings and ideas of you to do on your own. So let's talk about immediate things. What's on my bucket list? The first one is to stay up all night talking. I want to learn how to change a flat tire. I want to write an essay on love. Now, I was a creative writing major in college, and so a lot of my things have to do with writing, publishing, creative aspects. For you and what you want to do in the future, they might look very different. I want to bake a birthday cake. And lastly, I want to shoot a gun. I could, with minimal effort, do a lot of those things. And I have. A lot of the things that we're talking about today, I have done. So for you, start thinking about what are those experiences, moments, memories with friends, with family, by yourself. What are those things that you could immediately do? There are also some things that might be immediate, but later in life, right? If you're with a significant other, if you have kids, there are things that could be immediate for you. So for me, some things were based on being in a relationship. So some of these items include things like kiss someone under a full moon, pick wildflowers for a bouquet, and to slow dance on a beach. So now I want you to pause for a few moments, take some time, start to jot down those immediate things that wherever you are in your life, you think you could do them soon. If you're in your 20s, if you're in your 50s, where are you? Where's your life at? And what could you do now at the drop of a hat? So take a few minutes to do that. So now let's talk about short term, things that you might have to put some effort in, you might have to learn, it requires planning, it requires money. So let's talk about some short term things that are on my list that might trigger some ideas for you. Learn to play guitar, have a garden, see a live NFL game, or really any professional sport that you like. I want to take in a stray animal. I want to pee off a waterfall. I want to have a picnic in a Japanese garden. So those are all things that I could plan to do. Things that require learning, things that require planning, money. I could do them with a little bit of effort. Let's include travel in general in our short term, because you could, with enough resources, travel to pretty much anywhere right now. So, for example, some places that I want to go to places like Norway, Greece, Iceland, Australia, but also maybe places in the United States, so places like the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls. Sometimes you can attach a place to a thing to do. So I have on my list to take a picture holding up the Tower of Pisa. So by doing that, I'm also traveling to Italy. So think about places you want to go or things you want to do in those places. So now, another pause break. Think about travel, things you want to learn, short-term things that require a little bit of planning. Take a few minutes. And now we get to long-term plans. If you're making this in your 20s, 30s, you have a lot of life left. So what do you want to be doing in your 60s, 70s, 80s? Think about your future. Think about relationships, families. If you want to start a family, you might have things on your list like watch my first child be born, have my kids bury me in sand at the beach, take my children to a park and swing. You could also put things about grandchildren if you wanted. So put things that are, depending on your age, potentially not something you could do now, but something that throughout your life you would like to see happen. If you're not really focusing on family so much, you also could think about career. What do you want to do and be and accomplish? So for me, I've always had creative things, like have someone I don't know ask for an autograph, do stand-up comedy, write an episode of a television show that airs, be a guest on late night television. Again, for you, based on what you want to do in your life, those things are going to be different. But put down accolades, achievements, accomplishments. Think about all those things that you want to do and be and experience. So now we're going to pause. Think about the long term. The rest of your life, what do you want to see happen? Now, a lot of what we've done so far has been very easily, they're things that are easy to know if you accomplished, right? They're not vague, they're not metaphorical, they're things that you can say, yes, I went to Italy, yes, I did this. But you might decide to put things that are a little more abstract. So for me, I had a rocky relationship with my parents, and so I wrote, forgive my parents. That's something that I really won't know if I accomplish or not until I accomplish it. I'm also a bit of a self-critic, and so I put down forgive myself for things that I've done. I listed on my list to know unconditional love. That's a hard thing to plan for, but you know it when you feel it, and you can check that box. So think about some more abstract things that might apply to you, that I want to feel this way, I want to experience this thing, and it's maybe not as easy to pinpoint and plan for as the things that you've been writing down. There's also two things on my list that I won't experience until the very end of my life. And so I'll probably never actually check them off, but they are aspirational and hopefully something that I can accomplish. So for me, I put down that I want my last words to my spouse to be I love you, and I want to die happy. Those are two things that I can aim for, but I really won't ever look back at the list and say, check, did it, right? So we're talking the range of your life. We're talking about things that you could do right now. You could pause this video and go check a couple things off, or in 60, 70, 80 years, you're going to accomplish. So now, like I said, there's probably 20, 30 things that easily came to mind. Now the rest is going to be a stretch. So I really want you to think about this. You might need to take a break from your list. You might need to sleep on it, come back to it. You can share the list with people if you feel comfortable. You can also share this video and get other people to make their own lists. When I created mine, there were other people doing those lists, and so we could brainstorm, we could talk, and then it might give you, someone that you can talk to as you try to accomplish them. Hey, this weekend, how about we do something from each of our lists? It gives you someone that you could do these activities with, someone that you can help hold accountable. They can hold you accountable. It's fun when you do it as a group. The ultimate goal, though, is to get up to 100. So count where you are, see how many you got right now, and how many more do you need to do. Try to pinpoint if there's big gaps. That if it was easy to know your career and where you wanted to go, but those are things that you may not accomplish for 20, 30 years. So you need to think about today, tomorrow, immediate things. Maybe you only did immediate things and you need to really focus on, I can knock all these out in the next month. The goal is to not achieve this now. The goal is to follow this throughout your life, and it gives you ideas and milestones and fun things that you hope to accomplish. That is the goal here, not to try to achieve them all as soon as you can. I also encourage you to put this list somewhere that you see it. I usually have mine tacked up at my cubicle at work so I can see it, and it might remind me there's a weekend coming up. I've got nothing planned. There is a Japanese garden by me, so let's go do a picnic. It reminds you and it might inspire you. So put this somewhere that you will see, print out a copy if you're typing it up, put it somewhere, and reference it. So that is pretty much it. Down in the comments, let me know if this was easy for you, difficult for you. Feel free to share what some of your things are. Maybe they'll spark ideas in other people. I will list my full 100 in the description, so you can go check it out, but know that it is things that I want to accomplish. They may not be things that you want to accomplish. So feel free to share yours. And then feel free again to share this video with people that are also potentially wanting to make their own list. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want other kind of interesting, weird videos like this, and we'll see you next time.